Sorry, Holly. We're just chatting.
Every year, and so.
Let me turn you up so we can hear you.
Oh, yeah, the roller coaster.
I think my husband would prefer that we keep a mute button around all the time.
That's wrong.
I didn't know that was an
Really
option.
works on, really works on
That's
TVs.
wrong.
Yeah.
And Noah, you're going to be the one that will do the screen sharing, correct? You'll be able to grab my screen or vice versa? Or make sure that
I was
when I
just
share.
gonna see my screen right away and kind of do the intro and get into everything and
Yep.
go over the build out what we talked about.
Yep, no worries.
Next, but then if you have your screen, you can just screen share and it'll populate on the big TV up here.
Very nice.
Yep. So that should be all good to go, but I was thinking I'll go over my stuff first and then,
Oh, of course. And then I think Dave is next, correct?
yeah, well, he can go last. He's not even here.
What? No,
Yeah.
he's got more important stuff than me.
No, I'm pretty sure the brochure is number one on everyone's list right there, Holly. So you're the star of the show.
Uh-oh.
Always the star of the show.
How
Yikes.
do I find a password? No,
For,
the internet.
it's gonna be tell me once you're ready to type it in.
I can't even find how to.
But make sure it's the KW Apple Valley, not the guest one. That one's garbage. I don't even know why we have it. It's terrible.
Rename it Apple Valley Garbage.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not a fan of it.
I'm finding too that at certain times of the day, RealNex works better on, Explorer or Firefox than it does on Google. It runs faster. Just in case anyone notices that it's kind of bogs down and gets slow.
Interesting.
Yes. I from what I understand, there's a ticket that they're working on, and they are aware that it is slower now because of the integration. So
Gotcha. Good to know. Jim, are you finding it?
Yep, I got it.
So it's gonna be 14665 Keller with a capital K. If that's wrong, I'll go look it up.
Mine's an autopilot, so I don't remember anymore. Just
Yeah,
remember.
you've been here, so that it should be every time.
Connected.
Beautiful.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Robert, you all hooked up to the internet?
I am.
All right, perfect. We'll get going here in a couple minutes in case anyone's a couple minutes behind.
Is this the starting spot you want us at, the RealNex
Yeah, that'll work.
right page?
Yep.
That's one I got marked.
Yep. So right on like the top right-ish, it says like log in. Have you
Yep.
logged into it before?
I have.
It either says log in or go to portal. That's what we want. That would be great.
also, for what Noah's going to start with, on a second tab, just quickly open your build out.
Yeah, if you have. build-
Or slowly, quickly, slowly, however you want to open your build out.
I'm going.
Wrong email and password. Hello, well, hello to you too.
Let's bring them in and bug everybody.
80-pound lap puppy. Ah, shoot. Wrong email.
I'm guessing probably. Did you? Password?
Remember, the email should be the one that you use for your KW site, correct, Noah? The login for it has to be the one that you use for intranet.
Yeah, and if you need your email, I know that. So I can get you what email is connected to your account. Yours is your jdii@kw.com.
Okay, that's what I'm using.
And then if you can't remember your password, you can just hit the forgot password and it'll email you something to connect with.
I'll do that.
Who's all in the room?
All the smart, good-looking people.
Absolutely.
Starting with
What's
John
the
Cusack.
Wi-Fi? I haven't been here.
Oh,
guys-
on the beach.
146.
We got, oh, here, we'll just pan the camera to everyone. We got full sail,
Wow.
Mom, and then Rob Ayers in the back, and then Tom's dog is in here as well.
Yay.
Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Oh, and Melissa, sorry. Dave, you getting a tan on or what's going on there? Looks lovely. Are you at Holly's house just outside?
That's right.
I was in Holly State
You
got home
were.
last night about midnight, so I'm still
Nice.
there
Where?
in mind. Sarasota.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it's already 70 here and it's gonna be a little balmy and a little warm today. So I know, it's unfortunate.
This is what's been happening, or this happens every time I log on. I can't get past this. Like it happens on both my computers. But then just
And
nothing.
everything grays out.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever tried a different browser, like using Google Chrome or Internet Explorer?
You know, I have not.
Try that. Holly said it likes to have an attitude sometimes on different,
Different browsers.
yeah,
Uh,
so maybe try Chrome.
And if you still have areas that are grayed out, then definitely send the admin at KW, whatever that one is, KW commercial, because that means that they haven't linked it correctly. You should have access to the full RealNex package.
You can just search it. Like if you go on that Microsoft one, you can just type in like Google.
Hi.
You know,
How
take you
come
there
you're
and
so
then you can open up the
handsome?
browser that way, I guess, if you don't have it downloaded.
Hi.
you bugging people.
No.
And when you came in, did you go past the front desk with your pup? Faith got to see it. Faith is obsessed with dogs. That's all she got one that's a Great Dane, so probably the same size, but
No, she said it's bigger. He's
oh, probably.
yeah, he's only 65 pounds.
Oh, never mind. Face is way bigger.
You're only
So we're
65
100
pounds?
I'm in.
Hi.
Yes.
Accomplishment just to get.
I love the
Puppy.
curls. The curls are right there.
The
You
labradoodle.
guys and your
Yeah.
curls.
Super handsome.
And sweet. You're sweet and handsome, both.
And I don't have any hip dysplasia problem.
Hopefully not. All right, let's try this.
Okay, where do we want to be in room?
My 8-month-old Great Dane that I have here, the black one, just hit 102 pounds at 8 months.
Oh.
The other one is a svelte 91.
Wow.
Lord.
That's a lot of dog poop to
Got a skid loader at home?
That's exactly it. Yeah, 12 cups of dog food each per day, which is about 11 out. Ah,
Dog food in, dog food out.
All right, I'm thinking we're gonna get started here, so we have plenty of time for questions. This is till 11:30 is what I have it booked for, but nothing's in here after that. So if we still have questions or are going over stuff, we can definitely keep it going if people are available to. I know you had some CE or something today. You still have it?
Yesterday.
Yes.
We're done.
Oh,
I
perfect.
cleared it out.
Cool. Yeah, so if we go over 11:30, it's
We're
totally
fine.
fine. So this is gonna be the opening screen that I would like you to be on. If you are a part of build out, which I think is everyone, I don't know that you have build out, so you can ignore that part. If you have build out, open that up in another screen too. We're gonna do something real quick with that so we can save all of our data. But this is what the RealNex screen should look like.
I'm there. There's Bald Eagle, Flying Apple Valley.
And
There's a
then
couple of them that circle our building all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you get into yours?
I'm working on it. So, I'm a hot mess,
So,
I'm sorry.
is it-
No, you're
it
good.
said, Yeah, I'm logged in, so maybe I.
This is just like the intro login page where you're gonna log into, so everyone should have their account. So is everyone able to be logged in already?
I am.
Okay, so once you do log in, this page that we're kind of looking at, that's like a common page that I'll bring to if you're bookmarked to it, but you can save whatever page. I have mine saved on, right here. This should be the property search page, which is probably what you have. You can save like your CRM page or something like that is the first page that you see every time you log in. Is everyone able to log in before we move on?
It still does that same thing.
Just turn the video off.
Hi. Are you guys,
What's up?
nothing, sorry.
We're just making sure everyone's logged in, sorry.
Clearly I stepped away. Oops.
So once we're here, let me have one sec, see if I can click through this.
33 acres in Kentucky.
Been trying for like, ever since we had the phone call.
I just wanna get
What
to this.
email are you logged in with?
T-Mobile, KW commercial.
But like it lets you log in and everything.
Yeah.
This stuff is.
So there's different modules, and right now you're logged into the CRM versus the marketplace.
Property search.
Those are all subcategories. Oh, good. Stay there.
This email right here, Tom.
There's a lot in Hermantown for
Yeah,
sale.
that's what I'm getting.
Alright. If yours isn't gonna let you, I think I'm gonna have to connect with support because I've never seen an error like that where it doesn't let you use anything. It's super interesting. Do you know if we have
Like a
another
paper and
computer
pencil.
here?
That's basically what I do anyways.
Possibly, if you don't mind if Tom uses it,
Yeah.
can you just go to RealNex? We're gonna try and log in on Melissa's laptop for you and see if it's your computers or if it's your account.
Alright.
So while Melissa's pulling that up, so once we're to RealNex, guys, we log in, and so this is my home page. It's gonna be the property search page. We can get to that later, but I am gonna go over kind of an intro of it and just kind of show you around a little bit, and then we're gonna get our profiles updated. Because we did syndicate our profiles over from build out, so it should have pulled like our personal information along with our properties. But we just want to make sure everything's correct because there's a little bit extra stuff as well. So up here on the top, you have all your different options for syndications, listings, your dashboard, your contacts and everything. What I want to point out first is this guide me button. It always glows a different color, but this is where all of your trainings are. So there's a library of some helpful stuff, some more, but the trainings right here are what I'm talking about. So when you click on them, they're all courses, they're all less than 10 minutes. This is something that once we leave here today that I would highly suggest for anyone. Because myself, Holly, and Dave are going to be going over everything today along with your questions. But we're not experts, just like yourselves. It's new to all of us. So all these course videos, they break them down into all the different sections, and I'd highly suggest, I've been going through these and they're super helpful. But there's different things that we all have questions on. So this is what I would highly suggest is the guide me button and then the training. But where I want to take you first is so over on the left side, you should have the bar, and then it opens up. We want to go all the way down to my settings. And inside of here is where we're going to fill out our contact and our profile. And then some of our preferences. So inside our contact, mine might look a little bit different. I'm the admin of our company in RealNex. So if yours doesn't look exactly the same, it's because I have a lot more capabilities to attach all of you to our company. So this is this is all of your personal information. So go ahead and enter everything. Your headshot should appear here. I'm trying to leave mine blank, so when someone searches our company, they don't select me for things because I'm attached to different things. So when you scroll, it has all of your information, personal and company. So fill that out, and then the next one to the right is your profile. So in your profile, you can choose to hide it for privacy purposes or not. I wouldn't select that, so then people can on RealNex search you and your properties. But then all of your licenses, your specialties, if you have a bio, you can just cut and paste it in here. Same with education association, but then all of your affiliations and what you do are gonna be down here. All you gotta do is check the boxes of whatever you're a part of or your affiliations would be in this case.
What's the broker license? You have it up there?
We're at,
Broker license number, yeah.
I'd have to look that up. Is that on our page? Okay, we'll grab that for you.
It's
but
gonna
then-
be your own personal number.
Oh, it is? It's not the company?
There's a broker license and a state
Yes.
license.
Agent license, a sales license.
Yeah, I'm with Dave. I think it's your personal, because we have a company page and the company page has the KWC information. But go through this. We won't take all of our time to go through everything on here right now, just for the sake of getting through everything in RealNex. But you can see there's quite a bit of information, and this will all populate if someone searches you or your properties. They're able to see what your specialties are. and what you're
KW
about.
Commercial Midwest.
Say that again?
I'm under KW Commercial Midwest. I'm jumped into the company button.
Yeah, that's where I'm going right now. That is correct. So you're a part of it. That's where I come in. So I'm the admin. So this is where mine will look different. I can invite whoever joins us to our page. So this is what your company page should be like. You're not able to edit this because you're affiliated with us. So I have that. And then mine looks different because I can see all of our users and then all of our invitees. We still have a couple guys who haven't accepted or they're a part of our referral network.
Will we be able to add co-branding? So when we have AMK properties or full sale commercial real estate, we can't put any of that in this part right now?
For the company,
Mhm.
Holly would know.
So
Holly,
Holly-
can you put AMK anywhere here?
Yes, am I unmuted? Oh my gosh, I hope I haven't been making strange noises over here.
What were you doing?
Whoops. Yes, you will be able to do co-branding, and there is a spot when we get into the marketing where you'll be able to load your logo, pick your colors, that type of thing. I did, however, fast forward a couple minutes here, when I get into the portion that I'm going to teach, it is starting to kick back some of the logos. I have already sent an email to that effect to KW support. There are several already loaded in there. But I won't get too far ahead of the ball here, but yes, you will be able to co-brand. Absolutely.
So then the company page, a lot of this probably won't be editable by you guys. Yours will look a little different, but this is the company you should be a part of. I just got that switched, so it might look new for a couple of you because I think we had 4 guys on a different company. But then
I am going to interject quickly. Under the company profile, when you, so for instance, Full Sail or any of the other companies, if you go in there and change that website, right in this first part where it says identity, it will mess up your whole thing. So don't put any of your co-branding of any sort in that identity. That is your, that has to remain the same, please.
Okay.
thank you.
We're locked out from it too, which is good.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to change that
Yeah.
because that's like KWC Midwest.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's
Yeah.
our page.
Yeah. Okay.
Beyond that, all of these are gonna be for you personally. So this one, I mean, you want English, that's good. But then email filters, your subscriptions, your defaults. These are things that I would suggest you take some time and look through. So I don't know about you guys, but I get like mass emails like from other people who are in KW commercial, but like they're selling somewhere or trying to lease in like Vegas and like Phoenix. Like I get them from all over because I don't have any filters on here. So make sure you go through here and just figure out what pertains to you, what doesn't, if you want to block it all, if you don't care. Go ahead and just check through the email filters because this is as a whole.
Say, quick side question. So back
Yeah.
on profile, I put all the specialties in profile, then I went out of it, came back to it, and they're all gone.
You gotta save up at the top. So in the top right,
Ah, there it is.
that's a great point. Make sure you hit save because I've done that as well, and it's a tiny little button that if you don't notice it, it's in the top right up there. So sorry you really getting back on that, John. I should have
That's
remembered.
in here. Nothing.
Subscriptions, you should be good there because we're already a part of our company. And then user defaults. I want to say this is how the sidebar is and where you log in. So when I logged in, my opening page was the property search, if you recall, and you saw the map and the property search. This is where you can select when you log in every time. If you wanted to open up your CRM or your presentations, this is where you can choose that. So if I went ahead and clicked CRM, if I save this and log out real quick and then log back in, it should open up the CRM, which we'll get into later today. So it just is a personal preference where you want to start when you log in. You can see it's going to take a second because I have to log in a second time to the CRM. But this is what it'll look like. So that's what the default is just a different page that you come into. But the default for everyone's going to be property search. So I'm just going to come back and switch that. And then the last one is going to be the notifications. So these are going to be anything that notify you on here. I think there is a mobile app for RealNex as well. So I'm guessing they contain to that as well. So just make sure you go into here and figure out what you want to specifically be notified for. I know it's going to be different for everyone, but this is where you can deal with all that and everything. Again, where I'm looking is under my settings and it's just you personally for all of this besides the company, which you can't edit that anyway. A part of all of this, do any of you have any questions on this part of things? Before we move on to other parts and then what I have to talk about and build out real quick. This is pretty much just personal information too. So it's a lot of what you want out of it and what you want seen by everyone else.
I'm still doing a lot of checkbox stuff here, so.
Yeah, make sure you save that. And if you don't get up to all of that today,
Yeah.
it's something that is editable as well. So if you add something or you stop doing something, you can always go uncheck a box or, change your affiliations there. What I'm gonna do now, if you are a part of Build Out, so I want to say it's everyone but John. If we can go into Build Out real quick, if you can just open a new tab.
One quick question.
Yep, what's up?
Where you have contact and it says alternative contact. So is that like for other people on your team or is that for just different phone numbers you have or?
Good question. I'm guessing it could be, I don't think it's Team Holly. Do you know the alternative contact, what it pulls up as? I guess I could.
I know, I don't remember. And I put in there for instance, I'm their admin. So I have so if I log in as David, I have my information in there just in case maybe they can't get a hold of him. I don't recall either what it is. It's one of those top line questions that we should know the answer to. However, there is an option later on where you can add an alternate, add an additional agent to a listing. So that is not necessarily the spot where that takes place.
Yeah.
I think it's for assistants or
I think so as
associate
well.
agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And Noah, I know that when you made changes on some of them, that you are actually the alternative contact on some that you transported over. So you lucky dog, you.
Good to know. Yeah, I syndicated probably half of them over and
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to go look into that. I don't know how to switch that from an admin side because I'm still restricted with Lord knows why. Do you have any other questions before we move on, Jim? Or anyone else? Okay, perfect. If you guys could pull up your build out in another tab. I just want to make sure that everyone downloads a Excel spreadsheet of all of their listings. Just for records purposes, because I don't know what's like with our build outs, like if they're just gonna wipe everything from all of us, or if we'll still be able to access it, but not run our business through it. I'm not sure the technicalities. But I just want to make sure everyone has all that data in case they need to go back and change something or reference something. So inside a build out, go to listings. Mine's also gonna look different here than all of you, so it might be a little different. And then, hey Melissa, can you take the remote and then click down and close that?
It let me log in from a different.
And it's working, like
Password.
you're working. So on the left side, can you click on my settings where we just were? And I want you to go look at the company and see if you're affiliated somewhere else. Because that means you just have more than one account and we'll just have to combine them. It's something that Holly had to do for Matt Klein, I believe. And James, yeah.
Some people who have, for instance, a CCIM designation or an SIOR automatically had a RealNex account long ago. And with us bringing in the Keller Williams one, there may be two accounts out there and they have to merge it for you. That is the reason there might be a different top account for people.
Signed up
But
before.
like just now, you just logged in with this email and password that you.
Yeah.
I can see these are grayed out, so you don't have access to any of these, so this is not gonna be one that's working or like signed up,
Okay.
because you don't have a subscription either. So if you wanna follow along, well, you can't click on some of it. No, that one's not it.
Okay.
So it didn't work on Melissa's computer either.
No.
Okay. I will have to reach out to support on that because it's totally, the errors are blocking you from using anything.
Now, did you check your unblock any cookies? Because if you don't unblock cookies, RealNex goes berserk.
Have you done that before in your settings? Like clear all the cookies in the.
But you
settings?
have to not allow any blocking whatsoever on that particular realnex.com.
Well, it allowed all pop-ups, I'm pretty sure on that one.
It's just a thought. I remember that right in the beginning, people were not able to get far in RealNex at all
That one clears cookies and-
due to blockers.
It's for how do you clear cookies?
Like on like the top right of like your search browser, those three dots, you should be able to go into like your settings.
Yeah.
And then like history. Yeah, it'd be settings and then like allow permissions.
And then clear browsing
Yeah.
data
I'm,
until like, yeah.
Okay, so inside of build out, before we
Not friendly.
go over to Holly, so when you click on listings, it's gonna bring you obviously to all your listings. We wanna go over here and download all the properties. So I've done this and I think I have it for everyone, but it's all jumbled together. So if you guys haven't already, just download it. It'll be a CSV. It's something you can, it'll be saved to your computer. But I just wanna make sure you all have your information
You
for.
gotta select under brokers your name and then do it.
Oh,
setting.
I have,
Because you'll get everybody's. If I just want mine, I select my name.
you have to select your name.
Well, if you just select my name right now. And then that's just mine. Then I went over the download button up here in the upper right, right there.
Yeah.
And then I just get mine.
So you're able to click on more than one person from your account?
Yeah.
Or are you saying for me?
No, I can click on everybody.
I think that,
I have access to everybody's.
Yeah.
By default, it will give you all of them. The reason we, Noah's thinking for you to just do, Jim's or, Andy's or something like that is because even if you did a draft, a proposal, off market, all those kinds of properties, that foundational information that was, whatever's in there right now and build out will pull out. Now, at least you would have the photos, the data, the information in case that proposal that you did 2 months ago comes to fruition and now we don't have build out, you would at least have, you could separate out that information and upload it into RealNex as the property instead of having to recreate the wheel inside RealNex. It's just a thought. It was just an option. Some people are naughty and only change their brochures on build out, in which case it's not going to pull that information. It's only going to pull the information that was actually input into the backside of build out or into the original thing. What word am I looking for? So does that make sense?
listing.
Thank you.
So I think I can get everyone's when I download it. So my list will probably be bigger because I'm the admin of our build out as well, but just make sure, because I don't know the access we're gonna have to all of it when.
Well, we also have Mincar and Crexy that we can go back and get information from.
Okay, yeah, if you guys are comfortable with something else, I mean, obviously I don't use those, so if you're good with that, I just wanted to make sure that everyone
Mhm.
did that just for, a safety net, because it's just gonna be a file on your computer then. Holly, is there anything that I'm forgetting for kind of like intro stuff, just looking around? Or is this a good place for you to hop in and take it away with what you're gonna go over?
Yeah, I can certainly take it away. Now, I apologize if it looks like I'm in a tennis match, but my husband bought me one of those 3-foot wide computer screens. No, I'm sorry, 2.5-foot wide computer screens. And I'm seriously going like this because it's that big. So yeah, if we want to try and share the screen, we can pop on over and
Yeah, you can
oh,
share.
that's me, sorry. I have to share my
Go ahead
screen.
and share your screen.
All right,
And we can watch.
let me know if it's working.
Just hit yeah.
So are we going to presentation property analysis now? Or
What screen are you guys seeing? Can you tell me?
Yeah, we can see your RealNex. It's just not full screen right now. It's got built-in
Okay.
RealNex in
Is
it.
that full screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that too big, or are you seeing it 3 feet wide as well, or?
Perfect.
It's
No, it's
good.
perfect. You should
Okay.
be able to, Holly, can you see me and my little icon? The TV's right here, so you can probably barely see it, but you can just blow that up on your 3-foot screen there and look at us.
Whee! All right, well, I just want to make sure you guys can see. Okay, so RealNex, one of the things that you'll learn to okay, let me preface this way. I'm not a very good teacher, but I logged in as David Lund. David's probably not aware of that, and that's okay. But I did log in as David Lund. So I'm not logged in as an admin, meaning I'm not going to have that different screenshots that you will. This would be any of you looking at your screen. One of the things, so I automatically have it come up to RealNex Marketplace, much like Noah did. On this left-hand side of the screen, you'll have the CRM, the presentation, which looks like your little old-fashioned movie screen chart. If you right-click, open in a new tab, one of the things about RealNex is you can have several tabs open at once. And so you're not having to bump out your screen, you know what I mean? Lose your screen, go back into it, lose your screen, go back into it. You can just, here I'm looking at Marketplace. Then I'm gonna go over to contacts someday when it loads. Again, it does get a little slow at times. Admin dashboard. So now I'm over on my market edge. Now I'm looking at contacts. Now I'm looking at the property search. It just makes it a little bit more helpful to bop around the program that way. Okay. What imported over to build out is going to be found right here in listing management. Okay. So when I'm looking at David's, I have David's properties transported over, and we're just looking at the 5 of them right now where he is the primary listing agent. There's others in here that he's listed on with Andy, but right here, these are just the primary that he's on. I apologize if there's a lot of background noise. It sounds like the Blue Angels are actually doing their show today, or one of their test runs. Oh my gosh. The one I'm going to look at here, it's okay, I'm sorry, it's showing all of them, right? If I only want to see his, you know, in contract, there isn't any, they're all active currently. So I'm just gonna hit apply that way. You can look at thumbnail if that's more helpful, or that way. Again, no big deal.
Holly,
Actions. Hi.
did you have a lot of issues with images coming across?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I found, and it took me, it was an epiphany that I had in the middle of the night, and then I confirmed it. Back in build out, which I have open over here, if you go into edit listing, and we look at sometime today, in build out, when you originally put in the listing, a lot of times, or many times, there's only, it's stalling out, you guys, I apologize. It is, here's photos that we have in there, correct? If they are all syndicated, they should have transported over. If you only had one, let's just say a primary picture right there, and it went into RealNex, or excuse me, and you only, excuse me, in the brochure is where you uploaded a bunch of pictures. So if I go over here to edit, I'm pointing at my screen, you guys can't see me pointing. If you're over here and edit, okay. And here, in here is where you uploaded photos. So let's just pretend, or let's just say I go in here to change image and I have all these other kind of photos and layouts in here. Those didn't always necessarily transport over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So whatever is in the foundational backdoor of build out is what transported over for the most part. So yes, there is a discrepancy with photos. I happen to have no photo for whatever reason that came in for Dakota Center. And it's possible because he shared that with Andy that it didn't do both of them. I'm not sure, but I went in and put in a couple of photos for Dakota Center. So always check that. That was a very long answer. I'm sorry.
No, that's good, because like, we probably have 25% of our photos only in real life.
Exactly. Or they might be old ones.
Yeah.
And the only reason they were old ones is because those were the original ones put in, but then only the brochures were updated. Okay, so when we're looking at our listing, there's these down here.
If I go back and I syndicate or check that syndicate box, will that populate into RealNex eventually?
Let's hope so. It should. It
Okay.
should. Now, how quickly they syndicate, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's once a day or how they're up or refreshing. But I had done the same thing. I've been trying to go through each listing, every single one of them, and double check, because some things are
within build out, you mean, right? I mean, you went back to build out to do all that versus
build out to do all that, then into RealNex just to double check. So it's been an arduous process, but it's a necessary one, and it's a good time to clean house. Good time to clean up what you're working on. Okay, so in Dakota Center, very quickly, I'm gonna touch on the highlights. Campaign deals with email campaign stats. We don't have anything yet. I mean, that's for how many people have clicked on it, that type of thing, but that's not what this is about today. Share, make featured, where my world is gonna be about edit. And you have several tabs at the top here. They're just a toggle for them, or bookmarks, if you will. If I'm over here on info and I just scroll down, I'm going to find the information that I need. I can click up, down, just a fast way to move around in it. Putting it in, select on a map. I'm just entering the address. I put in, I think you can have up to 3 opportunity or descriptions of what the property type is. Much of this transported over. I double check it just to make sure. Spaces. Many of your spaces might come over as drafts, in which case they're not going to be active out in the world, nor will they show up on marketing that we do. Suite B, that type of thing. This measurement that comes up, some of these numbers that come up, that's going to be in those global preference settings way in the front that we want it in, not metric, that type of thing. If you need to edit this space, these are text boxes that can quickly allow you to edit without having to go through the full, this portion here, edit space. Those are the main things that need to be touched upon. It's still available. Rate is 17. It's a triple net lease, or excuse me, net lease. Date available. Maybe this is this word right here, you know, negotiable terms. It's a minimum divisible maximum. My CAM expenses, fun things like that, your description. Save, always save, save, save is where I need, if I needed to change more in depth on the property. Property overview. These are the canned responses that were in build out, and they just transported over, for the most part, what is shown to the clients and to the brokers is the same thing. It's similar to North Star MLS in the sense that there might be a little bit wording here, but usually people just can response those. You can remove this or keep it, whatever you would like. Check your work. The highlights here, the highlights are in, you can make sure that they're bullet pointed. All right, anyways. Managing photos. If I want to add some more photos, I'm going to do that here. Here you can upload YouTube videos. That would be good for Pat Dolan because he has many drone aerial photography. If anyone needs one, he's your guy. In order to add a photo, you have to click the agree button or it doesn't work. It says you agree that it's yours. Okay, browse your computer, all that fun stuff. Typical, nothing special about that.
Is it just
So
a
I have
drag?
pardon me?
Is it just a drag and drop for photos?
You can drag and drop as well. Yep. Right in here. Whoops, I agree. Drag and drop, drag them on over. That works as well. And then you can shuffle and reorder them. Easy enough to do. All right. So info spaces, contacts. Again, this is just scrolling down the page. I can add an additional agent. I can rearrange my agents or delete. So for instance, maybe David is not the person, or he's going to go out of town for a month and we want Andy to be the main contact. You know, you can rearrange that type of thing. It's just more for who's the primary agent, primary contact. I'm going to hit save. All right. Then back to my listings. All right, I'm going to show you the, I'm trying to figure out which way would be the best way. All right. It's an interesting way of looking at this. They tell you to go into analyze. Okay. There is a lot more information here than I ever go into because I'm the admin side and I only make things look pretty. The guys where Dave is going to come in is where more of this information is going to be apparent to you when you're doing an offering memorandum, and maybe you have the full rent roll or you have the that type of information. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. I apologize. In your little graphics chart here, I could have gotten there this way, could have gotten there over my contacts, go over this way. Here is Dakota Center. That's the one that we were just playing with, right? You can add a new property if you want, or you can just click on the one we have here that we're already working with. It is active. I can change the marketing type here if I'd like. Property types. Here's my test one that I was playing with. Our office is in an Egyptian tomb. All right. Dakota Center. We've got our little pencil down here. That is what we are working on today, for me anyway, presentation. Analysis is what Dave will be covering for the most part, I believe. Market Edge website. We'll get there. And publish listing into marketplace. All right, so for me, we're going to go on presentation. And it brings us to our presentation tab.
Into one.
Now, I started playing around with different pages. Okay,
Hey,
what you're
Holly,
gonna, yeah,
how did you get there again?
right here, presentation, property analysis.
Okay, thank you. We
Yep,
got it.
you're there.
Yep.
Okay, and if I go to my home tab on that particular one, I can see something someday. In many of the videos that I was watching, this stalling out on the screen tends to happen often, which is frustrating. But again, RealNex is aware of the problem and they are working on it. Maybe we just cancel that one. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. Let me see if I can crash this system. Successful.
What's the best way to toggle between RealNex Marketplace to this RealNex Market Edge where we are? You just
To
keep,
me, it's having the windows open like this.
all right. And then
Then
if you have those
boom,
windows
boom,
open.
you don't forget what you're working on. That's the main thing.
Sure.
Okay, finally, we're here. I put in custom page first. It's gonna, usually when you start one, let's start a new one just for fun. We're gonna pick a template. We are going to look down. You have a plethora of options. So I am going to go to just a lease flyer. Plain, simple, one page. Brochure can have as many pages as you want. You hit create. It gives you a funky cover sheet. Always does. You have this option over here in settings. That is a floating screen.
Holly, sorry to interrupt. I gotta get there. How do I get there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're having trouble getting to the Market Edge. We did not open that tab and that. Oh, there you are.
We good?
Everybody there?
No.
Holly, if you would, start from clicking on presentation and property analysis. Start over that process from there. How do you get from that point to the screen you're on now? If you would.
I click on it. So, see how it comes
Okay.
up,
You got it.
right?
So the property comes up here because you've already, you fed it over from listing management.
Right.
By hitting the analyze button,
Yep.
right?
Here's the other thing, you can hit new property. I can search
Analyze
for a
button.
property.
The analyze button gets you there.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. I apologize if that's what you were asking and I missed it. You've got options here. We're gonna do presentation only. We are going to do a retail center and we are going to name it 123 Me Street. I don't know. Save. 123 Me Street is going to come up with all of this information. That
Why are
should
we
have.
doing it here, Holly?
Pardon?
Why are we doing it here instead of starting in listing management?
This is a way to do it that they'll feed to each other. So if I
Okay.
put in 123 Me and then I go back to listing management and I make it a property, it's going to actually show. That really doesn't sound right unless you're doing it. Or so here's my 123 Me Street.
You're gonna go into.
Yeah, but if I don't click all, it should go there, and I just want to make it active, nothing happens. It goes away.
Jim, are you there? Not yet?
I'm on a property and I'm trying to see what status is. And I got all, my property shows up as soon as I unclick all and just put on active, because it's not in escrow, it's not sold, it's not off market. It goes away.
Now, when you see here in this little box, is that where it's showing as active?
What's showing it is off market.
It said it was off market and it's not off market.
Okay, then just change the status.
And then it went
She's
away.
back at Marketplace.
Market Edge or Marketplace.
No,
yeah.
she's at Marketplace
Yeah,
right
now
now.
we got it.
So you guys are in different screens.
I'm a screen clicker, sorry. Good gravy.
And Holly, what you're trying to show us right now is how to do a brochure, right? I mean, that's our.
Correct.
in this
Trying to
piece.
get there, yep.
I have no idea.
Well, we need to go to Market Edge for sure.
Sure, she said marketplace. She's in
Marketplace, yep. And then clicking analyze. Analyze sends a little button that reads, or a little screen that reads successfully sent to Market Edge. Click here to view the property. It's another way. If you're working on several properties, that's why I keep the windows open.
Okay.
And again, it's a little convoluted and I apologize for that. I've clicked my screen and done David's stuff too many times, so I might have to log out and log back in quickly. Again, I apologize. Whoops, hi dogs. Sorry.
Holly, that very first time, do you have to go through that entering your phone number to enroll?
No, I've never had that come up. So I'm kind of surprised that it did.
Okay.
All right. I should be logged in as David. And I'm going to just click on my presentation. Oh boy.
There you got it for the first time, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Let's log in as David. They sent him a code. He doesn't know that I'm okay. David, send me your code. Sorry, guys. I'm texting him to have him send it. I don't know if he's in the office.
He was here in training. I can go over and get it. I can go look, see if he's over there.
No doubt. See if he's got his phone handy. I apologize. This has never happened. Of course it hasn't, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, it's trying to get me to log into RealNex too, using my phone number.
And you have to use your phone number just to do it. To get beyond that, you have to do it. And then it's gonna text you a code, and then you just put that code in.
Yeah. It's similar to CoStar, but like I said, I've never had it happen before. I can certainly log in as Andy. He's on that listing. It shouldn't be a problem. I could log in as myself, but I don't know. There's limitations that an admin can do as far as uploading contacts and things like that. I'm not allowed to upload contacts, excuse me, in bulk for my team. I have to log in as one of my brokers in order to do it. I can share it with my team once I am, but okay, where's David?
Yeah,
David.
he's not in the office.
Of course not. All right, then, you know what?
Andy is though.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's log out. Log in.
It's,
Log out.
we just got
Going
the
in.
screen by putting it in there, but I don't know if we went to the right place.
For the text notification, mine just did that too.
Yeah, so
I
I
just had
just,
to do it twice actually, so I don't know what's going on, but like,
yeah,
we just put my phone number in there and it came across.
right. So his list, his agent phone number correlated, and then they immediately sent a 6-digit code. So we were able to get beyond that, but
Look at that. Yeah.
Mine worked and it was and I could go in my test one and play with it.
All right. Is Andy over there? Tell him to send me the code.
oh, yeah.
Andy, send me the code.
of course, it's gonna make us do all this crap when we have a class. I've never had to do this once. A two-step
Just today.
authentication.
Yeah.
Just another thing with RealNex. We
Another
love
thing we
them.
love.
We love them.
We love to hate them.
Yeah.
Or
Hey, Holly, will you, you are just always so upfront with all the forefront knowledge on these things. Can you even put together a little sequential step-by-step document? Here's how you build a brochure. Here's how, you know what I mean?
Oh, here, Andy just sent it to me. Okay, hold on. Yes, and then I also gave Noah a link to one of the so far only, well, I don't want to say only, one of the very few videos that actually got to the point, got me what I needed and made a lot of sense. And of course, it was taught by Alicia Shepherd. So she's the one that kind of really does terrific things with the KW commercial. And I sent that link. It's only like 20 minutes. It's really not that long, but it's one of the most informative and quick and easy ways to show you how to build a brochure. So I will do that as well, but in this edition, she will, Noah's going to send it out to you guys for sure.
it's huge.
All right, so now we're going over here. I'm going to try and get right back into presentation and see if it shows up. Oh, for the love of all things sacred. Nope, we're not David today. We are Andy. Sure, we'll save Andy's password. My goodness. All right, we got all of his. We are going to find. And because he's not on, because he's not the primary agent for Dakota, he's not showing up. All right, here we go. I'm there, finally. Go to center. Phew! Try this, analyze. I am going to click here to view it in Market Edge. Then I'm going to poke my eye out. No, I'm just kidding.
We're all with you on that.
Mhm. Now, why it's having me go up to. Okay, so this button over here to the right. If you want to do a financial analysis, pretend, listen to me. Let's just say that you're working on an offering memorandum. Dave, I think you did this, or did you have RealNex upload this information for you?
Well, what's the question?
I'm sorry, this assumption for, did you do anything with you? How did you get your OM? Put it that way.
In build out?
Correct. No, nope. In Marketplace, didn't you have one in there?
No,
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Got it.
I
Okay.
don't, I don't think I have. I use different tools to create, and then then I throw it up into the brochure or the OM,
Okay. Very good.
right? So I haven't used the analysis section yet.
Okay. From what I understand, their analysis section is very good. And you are able to upload a spreadsheet if it's a rent roll, if it's your own, something from a different program, you can incorporate that into RealNex. Now, that is above my pay grade. And again, I only try to make stuff look pretty. Income, let's just say that you're doing a full detailed analysis and it's not a detailed analysis, it's just a quick one. You can do information like this. Take the time, and I know it's frustrating, but take the time to click on a lot of these tabs. All right, presentation. Shoo, made it.
So Holly,
Presentation,
can I re-answer just to make sure?
absolutely.
So you mentioned spreadsheet, for example. I use a couple different tools to present straightforward financial analysis. One is ROI Muse. Is a nice little platform for kicking out fairly complex scenarios. Or I have just a really simple 10-year pro forma spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet kind of thing.
Right.
I'll do the creation of the financials and the scenarios in those tools, and then PDF them out and upload them to the deal room or to the brochure, depending on what's right.
And that's exactly what you can do in here as well, which is wonderful. Now, up in here, this button at the top says scenario. You can put in several different ones when you're looking at projections, when you're looking at income and expenses and financing. If somebody comes in with, a cash offer, something like that, you can change those scenarios. And so you can produce different charts and financial analysis in here as well. And so that's why RealNex is trying to make it about the one full platform, being able to take it from beginning to end. So you don't have to have several different tools. Now, again, it's a matter of learning their tools. But that video that Noah's going to send to you, Alicia very, very lightly touches on them, but it's very, very informative, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm over here. Excuse me. Right now, we're just doing over here. Don't forget your floating box that sits over here, because it becomes an annoying little floating box that you have to pay attention to. We've got a few tabs here: File, Add Pages, Preferences, View and Share. Preferences. I can make my own custom header. I am going to put 2 agents on here. Okay. Do I want sections in my reports? Yes or no? This will make more sense later. Contacts. Right now, it's just Andy showing. I am going to drop down and look for another person, and look at that. Only a couple of you guys show up. Noah, you might have to call RealNex about that again. There's only a few people that show up to put on here. So I'm going to put in David Lund manually. Okay.
Yeah, good.
And I'm gonna-
And Holly,
Hi.
our brochure template still has us looking like we belong to AMK, which I know is not your problem.
We
Yeah,
have to build our own.
no, we just picked
Oh,
mine.
is that right? Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm doing it
You'll
now.
have to put yours in there.
Okay, got it. We could do it.
Yeah, Holly,
We can do
whenever
that.
someone creates something, the logos have KW commercial and they have the AMK one. So,
Yeah.
You're welcome.
yeah, thanks.
That should be able to be changed.
Yeah, I don't know where to change it for everyone, but if you just click on it and then click the yeah, so right there, if you just clicked on whichever one you want. So for you, Holly, you'd click on that one, but you can just click on the other ones and it'll get rid of the AMK one. Just
Yep.
like, so if you guys are
And
seeing
you
that,
will,
just click on it.
in your profile, you will be able, once you log in, Jim, you'll be able to go into that main profile that that Noah walked you through, and you'll be able to put in a custom logo, and that is where it will show up over here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put my AMK guys back in here.
You'll have to put in your own two logos, but like together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it'll look just like that, but it'll say full sale.
And you've got preferences. That's where you're gonna put that in. I want it to be in square feet, US dollars. Photo library comes up with what is in here for the photos that I've uploaded for this property. Here's the logos that apparently I like to keep uploading KW commercial logos. Global photos. I'm not sure if the global photos is something from like Unsplash, where you can have, you know, the people shaking hands, you know, or something like that. I'm not sure what global photos is. All right, so it automatically comes up like this. This is by far, it always comes up with this cover sheet, floating box, basic information, okay? If I want to look at something new, I am going to here start blank, and this is similar to Canva and Command, where you can build your own, whatever you want it to look like. Or I'm going to go in and hit lease flyer personally and just see what comes up. And presentation wise, it comes up looking like this. Okay. Well, personally, I think that's kind of, I don't love that layout. Floating box, floating box, select cover page. Now, maybe I don't want a cover page at all. If I'm doing a flyer, I'm not quite sure what cover page really means, but I'm just letting you know that there's all kinds of little things that you can look at here. Scroll up and down, it puts you right in the middle of the page, but the KW templates are on top. Again, not sure why. So let's just click on this guy. It reads that it's an offering memorandum. Landscape, let's just click that one. I'm again, just clicking around, having fun. All right, so that looks a little bit better, right? File, I'm going to add pages. I didn't mean to hit file. There are so many pages that you can add, okay? Right, easy to do, watch, new page. Custom page if I want it to be. Maybe I want a regional map. Fun, I'm gonna do a business map. Oh, never mind, I don't want a regional map. And you know what? I really don't like that cover page, cover sheet. Boom, it's out of there.
What
Now,
you're doing right now is brochure or listing specific, right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not universal settings kind of stuff.
correct. Well, this is always what's going to show up no matter what type of presentation you do. You're going to be able to drag and drop pages. Is that what you're asking?
No.
Or it's listing specific.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
if you're working on,
Logo, things like that.
yeah, well, the logo should carry over, but I'm finding that in some spots it's not. Does that make sense?
And Holly, you said,
Always go into preferences, and maybe full sale, maybe you want your colors to always be, you know, blue, or, oh, cannot be changed because they're defined. Sorry, I went one step too far. But in the preferences, you know, blue sale, maybe you're gonna, or full sale, maybe you're gonna change some of your colors to blue along with the red. You can do any of that in here. Custom page, business map. The reason I'm clicking around so much is I want you to just get an idea of there's just so much, almost too much in here. Now, way down here somewhere is available spaces. Look at that. Whee! I'm going to click on available spaces. What shows up? Kind of a, oh good, nothing shows up. Lovely. Custom page. Here's widgets, floating screens, report settings. All right, so let's just say I'm going to throw in an image. Okay, it asks me what image. Automatically it comes up. Yay, there's a quick one. The highlight button here that says highlight editable fields to me is important because this is going to say Dakota Center spelled correctly in Egan. something like that. Then I'm gonna put on, maybe I want available spaces. Well, gee, my available spaces in here isn't turned on apparently for whatever reason. Which is why I really want to log in as David. Because I already did all this in his. I'm seeing if he texted me back yet, his login number. Okay. And let's just say I'm going to add a location overview. And I want to do a map.
I like the templates better.
Yep. So we can go up here. I can zoom in on my map. I can zoom in and out on my map. I can make it a hybrid, right? Something fun, beautiful, location overview. If I decide that I want the map to be somewhere else, or I want to add a spacer, right? I can rearrange the boxes. Okay, if I click on rearrange, maybe I want the location overview to be right in there. And I want my picture to be over here. Whoops, I just did the same thing, but I want this over here. And then I think, you know what? I still don't love the way that looks. Okay, it's still not talking to me. It's not speaking to me. Again, floating boxes. Whee! I can go over here to select a layout. I highly recommend that you, hold on, where is it? Full page, click on examples, right? Says, okay, that's what that one would look like. I kind of like that one. This is a little too busy for my standards. This one has the 3, it's telling you that there's 2 rows, 2 columns on top, 1 on the bottom. You can get into 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. Various templates. You can see what that is going to look like in different situations. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now I'm just going to go back to 2 rows, 3 columns. Or maybe I'm not because it's going away. Excuse me. All right. So it changed it for me on my behalf. Well, I like my picture bigger. Okay. We're having fun. Finish editing. It will yell at you to finish if you don't do what you're supposed to do. I'm going to throw in a business map. Well, to me, that's not all that appealing, right? I am going to go and look for, going to be lines or arrows. This is very similar to build out in the sense that you will be able to go into restaurants. You can pick your miles radius. And I'm going to search. And most of them should have logos in there. If someone has put it in before and they transferred over, they'll show up. Okay. So it's very similar. Let's just say that I want it to be, and I decided I don't want Step Up Nutrition, because what kind of a restaurant would Step Up Nutrition be? Marker, I can make it my own,
Business
custom, very similar.
available pages.
And then on here, to me, it just still looks kind of blah. So I'm going to show my footer.
I'm not in.
Oh, you're not logged in.
And no, I'm not going to show a footer. Sorry, I lied. You can add margins.
I
And then
have
it's
a question.
so much of a page.
I don't think we can both be logged in with his credentials at the same time.
Search. I can look at,
You should be able to log in on the well, just
I
maybe the
open more
mobile
than
app.
one browser on my computer, RealNex at a time.
And are you logged in as the same?
Yeah, just me, just me.
I can log in as restaurants, or excuse me, as schools. New Horizon Academy, Egan High School,
And it didn't work.
Crane Tai Chi. Apparently that's a school.
Try it again.
Maybe we can try it in a little bit.
All right, we can hit save.
Yes.
All right, so now we've got that. Now my available spaces. Again, this is coming up weird because it is not Let's go over to property. And presentation only. I have to check my spaces. Grr.
A lot of capabilities.
More power than we want.
It's sometimes it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
I like templates because you go click, click, done.
And I'm going back to my dashboard here. I apologize. I shouldn't have clicked out so quickly. Come on, come on. Where did it go? It booted me out, you guys, completely. Wah.
I can't.
It won't. Let me see. It's on your bigger screen.
I'm not sure what if you guys just saw what I did there.
Nope.
I'm not finding my Dakota Center that I wanted.
Mhm.
So I went up into here, property. And I'm hitting open. And I'm hoping it brings me to Dakota Center.
That's a shortcut.
Excuse me. Now, it's of course having me start all over again. I apologize, but I'm just going to click over to presentation. And it took me where I left off. Okay. Here I can go to what I wanted to show you is you have the opportunity for maps, leasing rent roll for leased spaces, single tenant finance, there's projection. I mean, some of these are just, they're so massive that they're not going to be something that I personally will be putting in mine unless my guys tell me that they want this information and I'm provided the information to put in. BOV is kind of a blank one. Kind of blank. You can put in the information that you want and edit page. It asks you what you want to go in there. All right, but that's, we don't do too many BOVs. All right. I'm getting combobbled, I'm sorry. What I wanted to show you next is until you get familiar with dragging and dropping and making some of these brochures, what I would like you to do is go over to PDF right here at the bottom, very bottom of the list, right? You can put up to 25 PDFs into a brochure. This is terrible, but I know we're running short on time. PDF attachment. I'm going to go to my PDF attachment. I'm going to upload a PDF. Right? I'm going to go to my Dropbox and I am going to Dakota Center and I'm putting in the brochure that I made in Build Out. This is such a bad cheater way of doing it.
This is good to know, though.
But until I mean, I'm not sure if they're literally going to turn the switch off on April 1st or not. So for me right now, having this option as a backup is imperative. Here's my Dakota Center brochure.
Or just keep your Build Out subscription for another year.
You can. There was at one point an email that went out that was allowing it to stay for $30 per month.
Oh,
And then I was listening to a webinar that they raised it to $40 a month
yeah.
per person, or, per user. Then they're not going to allow those, they're not going to honor those rates. So if you can get it to a manageable price that you're comfortable with, rock on. However, this is the stuff you should learn.
For sure.
Right. So here's attachment. Again, floating boxes. They're just over here. And maybe it's because my screen's so damn big. Floating boxes. I am naming this Cheater Way brochure. Because that's the cheater way of doing it, right? And now it's called Cheater Way, right? What I wanted to show you as well, let's get rid of my available spaces. If I was logged in as David, I had all of this stuff so much better teed up so much better. I apologize. Here's the second big part of knowing how to work this. View and share, right? Let's preview what I've made so far. If your volume is up, you should be able to hear this. Okay, it shows up. Again, that's what we filled out. Lovely, huh? Can you hear it? It
Nope.
flips like a magazine and it makes all the noises like a magazine. Ooh, it's old school fancy, but you know, still fancy. And because we don't want, I know it's funny. We don't want that front page that I made because it's awful. And we are going to go to cheater brochure, right?
Just gotta do that.
And I am keeping this. And this is what I am going to email to someone, right? Email it this way, blind copy myself. This I am going to export to Excel. I am going to property website. Yay. Build Out had its own website. Market Edge has their own website. These are the tabs that will show up at the top by default. Investment tab means it's going to give you more of the data information. I'll just show you. I want my street view and alternate contact. Here's where I wonder if it says it's an alternate broker. That's why I'm wondering if it's another state. Include flyer package. I can upload information if I want to. Inventory, that is if you are doing a different type of inventory. Sorry, if you had sold properties there. For me, maybe we leased 7 of the spaces that would be show up as inventory. Do I want to display my broker's name? Or excuse me, for inventory. I can do just my inventory or my team's inventory, or I can do the whole company's inventory. I'll just do the whole company. Sure, why not? Here's where Pat Dolan comes in again with his fabulous videos. I'm shamelessly plugging his side hustle because he does great work. And I can show, we can put a video link in there, right? I can pick which photo I want to have. If you have to hit create and update. If you do not for the first time, it will say, I'm sorry, it's been removed from our inventory. Click here to build website. All right, here's what it looks like. Here's my personal branded logo. The information comes up properly. Now, how to add in our AMK website, I don't know. Property description, but excuse me, again, in the more information that you have plugged in the foundation of that property is what's going to feed. You can pick and choose what items you want to show, but for right now, the more is better in this particular situation. Investment. We didn't put any numbers in, so that's why I personally would untoggle that particular tab. Financials. We didn't put any in. Charts. Again, because I didn't put data in, there isn't any data coming out. Good data in, good data out. Photos. We have 1 or 2 photos in here. Are those the same? Close. Location, right? Documents. I didn't put, oh, I added my Cheater Way brochure. And contact is David, or excuse me, Andy. And I'm going to look at all the inventory here. And it's stalling out on inventory. Excellent. So, was that helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Again, right in here, I can email this as well, right? I'm going to email something pretty here. Presentation, all my properties, right? This opportunity, copy MH2O code, we can put that. So that is, again, getting in further than many of you would need to go. But the main thing I wanted to show you is the business maps. cheater brochure way of doing it for the last, just until you get used to doing it. And then while Dave Finnegan takes over for a minute, I am going to Google, or excuse me, try to relog in as David so I can show you the actual lease side of a brochure because this isn't working. So I will unshare my screen for a bit.
One
And
quick
then-
question. On your website, are you using the RealNex plugin? Or changed you for the,
I know, I had to think for a minute.
I think-
I have to know my own website.
I think it's still pulling from Crexy. We're still
In
pulling.
some tabs it is. I did notice that. See, I don't even know my own website. Good gravy. I know on the KW Midwest, it does. So let's go. Some of our featured listings, blah, 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 blah. If I go over here to release, it takes a little bit. Oh, I still have my Crexy plugin. That's right, because I had the Crexy one on there. I'm thinking, let's go to the KW Midwest.
Are you guys gonna change or are you just gonna leave? Crexy
For
feed?
right now, well, I might. Right now, it's kind of on the back burner because we do have it feeding and we are updating our Crexy continually.
Yeah.
So right now, it's kind of lower on my totem pole.
Got it.
Is totem pole the right word? No, that's not the right word. All right. Properties and agents. This is the RealNex. One thing I don't care for, and I tried to mess around and switch it around, Noah, but I wasn't able to be successful in the few minutes that I tried, is I wanted this page to show up.
Yeah.
I got rid of a tab. We used to have properties and we used to have agents. I couldn't get this particular tab where the agents are primary to show up, so I just left it as properties and agents. So you can get your information here.
From what I know, I don't think you can separate the two of them as of right now.
Right, and that's what I wasn't sure, and I thought, okay, well, so we have that on the KW Commercial Midwest site. We should change this logo to be the Midwest one. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, click into one of those properties once on the KW Midwest site
Sure.
for more information. Click
Let's
into
go to Jim Halber's.
lots.
Did it open up on my other screen? There we go. So here's what shows up. Details,
Yeah.
attachments,
That's,
yeah, demographics.
You're on the KWC Midwest website?
yeah.
Yes, KWC Midwest, and
the
this
feed
is
coming
the,
from RealNex or
and
Crexy?
this is pulling from this information right here that I clicked on, KW Midwest, right up here. And I clicked on your property, this one. So this is what is this is what is in RealNex that other people see.
Okay.
And we'll go up here. Here's Dave's. All right.
Mhm.
And does he have demographics? Ooh, look at his, all fancy.
Did I do that?
You did, good job.
Okay.
Oh, very quickly too. Here's what I want to show. I did want to put in a demographics page to show you. There it is. Demographics. Demographics page. Again, floating box means there's lots of stuff. I don't know if the median income in here for this particular segment, I haven't been able to get a clear answer from RealNex as to where that data is pulling from. Is that 2010 census, or is it, something more current than that? But if maybe I don't need to know what the race data is, today's day and age, I don't really know why they have that on there, that kind of thing. So you can manipulate what goes on here and what doesn't. And they don't look spectacular, but at least it's a functioning addition to what you want to do. Okay, now I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for real, Dave. And now, Dave, it's all you.
That was awesome.
It's kind of a Shiat show because there's so much.
Yeah,
Shite.
that's one thing. I'm not exactly sure what Noah's got me teed up to talk about. One thing I do want to do is just sort of lay the real top of the trees. This thing, as far as I can tell, is a mashup of client look, build out, probably MailChimp, and or whatever whatever your campaigning tool is. And what did we used to use? I can't remember what it's called, the CRE Pro tool for analysis and whatnot. And it does everything in one place. You can use as little or as much of it as you want. One thing you just absolutely have to do, I think, if you're going to be any kind of service to your clients and your business, is to make sure your listings are in there accurately and syndicated, and your brochures are up to date. So for us, what Jim Halber and I have talked about is job one was, let's make sure we're doing our marketing right, because otherwise we're letting our clients down. And then everything else from there is important add-on layers. But if you don't have the marketing piece, your listings aren't getting out to the world. There's nothing else to focus on until you get that right. So,
Dave or Holly, do you know when we build our listings, like how build out syndicates out to X, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, what does RealNex automatically, I don't know if I'm using the right word, am I? What does
Who do they
RealNex
syndicate to?
syndicate to?
I thought I was sharing my screen again. I'm gonna share my screen. Whee! Share. I'm sharing this one.
is that in listing management or in presentation?
Yeah,
It,
is it?
Probably listing management.
yeah, listing management. Now, it only reads currently that there's a couple places that it's syndicating to. And I was kind of surprised that it wasn't syndicating to more places.
I saw like
I was able to get logged in as David, so I wanted to go over here and show. No, I wasn't. Shoot, it still has me logged in as Andy. I apologize. Never mind. I jumped the gun on that one. It's
like Brevitas.
yes.
If you go to the Holly, if you go to the marketplace,
That this one.
On the left corner.
yeah, go there. You ought to have, at least I do, you ought to have a syndication button, a green menu across the top and a syndication button.
Yeah.
Holly, if you click the left where it pulls out, you want to go to the top one under the bell, the property search, click on that. And then in the top right by the guide me button, after you click on that, there's a lot more options up there. You
Oh
can
yeah,
see-
that's right. That's what it is. That big green one that reads syndication.
Yeah.
That's like screaming at me.
Right
Gotcha.
there.
I hate it when they flash and make whistles and ugh.
Yeah, but they only show on this page in RealNex. But yeah, there's only a couple options compared to build out where you had like all the.
Yeah.
And I personally did not connect my guys with theirs yet, specifically because I needed to verify. I couldn't say, okay, I want just this listing to syndicate or just not to syndicate. Does that make sense? Because some of the information is not accurate. It's got legacy information in there, and I haven't been able to dig and find out exactly what is out there.
So there's these four are available.
Yep.
And then there's kwcommercial.com and kwcmidwest.com.
Right.
And then separately, you go into Crexi, you go into LoopNet, you go into Mincar.
Right. Well, but with what they're saying here is with the syndication on, with the syndication button over here, your listings will automatically feed to these other places, which is great, except I don't know for sure if the brochure that I have in there for Dakota Center is my cheater one, and it's named cheater brochure because I just messed with that today. So that's the only reason I don't have mine fully syndicated just yet. But yes, this will be syndicated shortly.
And do you think we can add more channels for syndication on our own? Can we manually add on that?
I don't know. That's a fantastic question because I feel the same way. I'm not quite sure.
Okay,
I think RealNex needs to build relationships with other channels before that happens. I think that's the way it works.
okay.
And I'm gonna click on this one, see if I can get over to,
Just connected to this one.
Uh-huh.
I can connect to that one. I get leads off of this one. I'll get leads off of,
Uh-huh.
but they're all on build out too.
Is it login credentials that you have to add to get in there? Got it.
I was really hoping that my
Oh, yeah.
presentation, it didn't. Ooh, maybe it's over here, open. Yes. Good times. Okay, gather, children, gather. All right. Here's a lease one. Yay. Okay, available spaces. So I went over here to add pages, right? I added, there's different options down here when it is for lease. You have lease highlights, new page, custom 3, whatever you want to have. Here's where my report settings are. I got rid of my
Did you
cover
create
page.
this template?
No, well, yes and no. This, I'm sorry, yes, I did a save as. I can make it a template. Right now it's just a mess, but because I wanted to show you a few things that you can click into and out of. All right, so I have my available spaces, which is one of the global or one of the actual pages that can be dragged over. But maybe I don't like this layout. Thinking, I'm gonna go to layout 3. What does that one look like? Ooh, fun. And I have blank spaces here. If I want, oh, again, you have to finish editing. Floating box. Maybe I don't like this guy. Or I want to make it a, let's make it a block. Fabulous. Let's make this a button. Click for more information. And then you click on the button that you just made, and here you can add or remove your link. Here you can change the, obviously the font size. You can change the color. Maybe I don't want this to be, maybe I want location overview and I want something else down here. This button right here allows me to add another header, H1 or H2 reference if you want, and then the text would be smaller, and then the header. But I like what I have so far, so I'm just going to take that. It's kind of low on words, so maybe I'm going to add a few more spaces or condense the spaces. Not sure why that, oh, there we go. I'm going to make them wider, more room in between there, less room or space, whatever the word is. And maybe I don't want this background. Maybe I want these words to be bright red. Save. Yeah. Okay, now we're having fun. And then I realized that I'm finished editing and I'm going, yeah, I don't necessarily love. Oh, I hit yes for page numbers. That is why you will find X's up here. I also had the option on this page to put 2 brokers down there. So I did that. Here's my logo. Little spaces. Do we want it to fill? That's the full picture. Here I'm going to have it fill the space, much like build out. This allows me to add or remove a link. Maybe I want this to click to my RealNex website. Yay! Then we can do that. Maybe I don't like this big giant button right here. I'm going to get rid of that. Yep, he's out of there. See you, Mr. Button. But then I realize I don't like this space. Whoops. I put too many things on there and now my space is too convoluted. Okay, so again, floating box, lots of options, fun things to do. Finish.
Cool.
Stuck over there. Lease highlights. Another page that I drug over. Ooh, I got kind of fancy on this one. I'm just kidding. But here's where the widgets come in and my settings. All right. Padding is how much space is in between these. Maybe I think, I don't need that much of a picture. I'm gonna change this. Maybe there's more spaces than just these two. And on this one, I forgot to type in on Suite C, I forgot to type in what the term is. Well, I can do that on here. Or maybe I don't want to see what's on there. And so I'm going to pick out a different highlight, or I'm going to pick out which column I want. Again, good stuff, all kinds of fun things. Here, I can change the background color. Maybe I like that to be red. Save. That's not pretty. We're going to go back to black. You know, it's not about information, it's about pretty. Just kidding. Then I decide that I want this information to be more at the top. So I'm going to rearrange, right? I'm going to put this guy way at the top and see what happens. Nothing. Excellent. Whoops, move my picture. All right, well, that's up there. That's okay. I'm going to stop rearranging. And all the text was in white. So I have to change that to black. Okay. And I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, shrink up this stuff. My picture gets bigger. Something different, right? I can go over here. I can also draw on the page. Maybe I want to put some text that says, text box that says test box, right? And maybe I want to add that in here, like, you know, best deal ever, or your name here, or something like that. You can add text to it. I'm just going to cancel that out. Maybe you have a spot on here where I don't want that particular Keller logo, Keller Williams logo to show. Well, I am going to draw on my page. I'm going to draw a square, right? I'm going to drag that square down to here. And of course, I'm being sloppy with it, but I'm going to fill it, clicking on my fill button. I'm going to fill it with black, and it's going to be all the way black. And I'm going to hit save. All right, so now that's out of the way. And then if I needed to add text up on top of that, I could drag a text box over. So this is where they get fun, and you can get really creative with what you're doing. We're going to finish editing. Business map, I went over that earlier, where we just kind of clicked on hybrid, roadmap, something like that, right? Location, you can do a couple of them. You can do left and right. Sometimes the roads, you want to show more this vertical than you would horizontal. And maybe I don't like the way that this is just so plain. I'm going to add my footer. I'm going to add my guys again. Demographics, again here, floating box, pick and choose what you want to go on there. Custom page, plain old custom page. I can pick, I have the world at my fingertips. I can do whatever I like. But wait, there's a layout. Let's click on this one. Here's my example again. This is where we went to say, I want 2 boxes, right? And in that first box, I am going to put in social media. And then I can fill out my information. That's a good one for you guys. Did you get that one? Crickets, I hear crickets over there. All right, finish editing. Custom page 2. I literally just spent the other day making custom pages, just goofing around to see how I could change color, change anything. And I know that you guys don't have time for this, and that's why I wanted to show you this quick cheater way. Because if you know the information that you have is accurate within build out right now, until you get the opportunity to make one within RealNex, go the cheater route. Here, because this particular brochure already has, it's a PDF, it already has their information on it. I don't need this down here. So I'm going to turn that off and apply. And now it looks like build up. Is that helpful? Okay, I got very, very, sorry. My husband's home and the dogs are waking up. Ah! So here is the basics. Was that helpful?
Yeah.
I know we're over on time.
Very helpful.
Anything in for CRM stuff for contacts moved over?
There you go, Dave. That's you.
Say again, Jim?
You have anything, your contacts moved over from Google or anything teed up in CRM?
I do. I moved over right after the first of the year, took everything out of client look, export, import into RealNex, and I haven't looked back. I've been running out of that. So I've got the app on my phone. So I've got the ability to find anybody that's, I mean, I guess you could say I've got a couple different, databases, right? I've got my contacts in my phone that are just, my regular phone numbers and such. My true contact database is RealNex, and I've got the app set up. I can just open it up, find anybody I want, find the phone number, click, and it'll call.
How did you transfer your phone contacts or your Google contacts to RealNex? Did you do that with the app or did you do that on the computer?
How did I do that? So the only contacts I imported into RealNex were out of ClientLook. And the KW Commercial International Transition Team had, and I'm sure they still do, had a really good process for basically creating a connection with a RealNex person. They set up a folder, a shared Google Drive folder, where you do an export out of whatever database you're using, throw those files into that share folder. They run an import process and a cleanup process, and then report to you that they're done.
Do you still have that content or that link or those directions somewhere, Dave? Like where we might just reach out and start that process just to cover our bases?
1 second.
Okay. James did his own import.
No, that's what I did. And I got all 1,400 moved over.
You went through the KW International share drive? Oh, never mind.
But not everybody else has. But they just looked, they did move over, but I gotta clean them up.
What do you think, generally, what is your cleanup need? What are you seeing?
Look for duplicates and then delete out ones I don't want in there anymore.
And it's user error, not their fault. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's the data that we had.
Sure.
Husband error?
I said we. I take full.
I know on a few occasions, for instance, a fax number may have inadvertently been uploaded by RealNex as a phone number, and the phone number was the fax number. And so something like that it took a few minutes for people to, or not a few minutes, but a little bit for the agents to realize that happened. And RealNex was very good about getting those switched over quickly. So if you know that there's like a mass bulk switch or migration of some sort that you need, Jim, they might be very helpful on that.
So
And
Carrie,
then-
did your question get answered?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say we have them all moved over now. How do we use the CRM? What do we do to use it? I mean, how do you use it?
So real straightforward, if I want to contact somebody about topic, typically, let's say a listing or buyer requirement, look them up. I'll make contact, whether it's phone call or email. And then just depending on how important it is to keep track of that activity, I might do a quick note, click on history, add a history to that contact record and say, got a call from Jim, interested in touring next week. If it's important enough for me to remember that, so that next week when I'm looking at my project, my listing, that I remember, oh yeah, that's right, Jim and I need to connect so we can get this scheduled. If the ball is totally in your court to call me again to schedule it, and I'm not interested in keeping track of that, then I don't really need to keep track of that activity. But if I wanted to report to my clients, for example, or I want to do lead follow-up, or I just want to keep on pace with my project, I'll record that little record so that it's there for posterity's sake, in case, to remind me or whatever the case may be. So I can attach an activity, a call between you and me, Jim. I can attach it to your contact name and to my listing. And then it's there. The other thing, when I get an inquiry in off the street, a Crexy inquiry, right? I make contact with that potential buyer prospect. I'll add their contact information, connect them to the project so I can do follow-up with them. But I also will group them into a hot buyer list or interested in retail list as a group, right? And then I can, when I want to talk to people who are interested in retail, I can click on that group and find the 75 people or the 250 people that I know that are interested in retail investors. I can send retail comps to them or retail market news, whatever the case may be. I'm at the point now where my activity is going, but at that grouping and the actually communicating with them as a group, that hasn't happened yet. I'm not even close to getting to that. Right now, I'm just flying around trying to keep track of people and service my listings.
The Get Real with RealNex seminar thing was just on CRM yesterday. So
Okay.
whenever they record those would be a good place. It was just on that yesterday for 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you able to share your screen, Dave, and kind of click around and show us where you would put this stuff, just so we're able to see it as you're talking to? I know we're kind of here, but
yeah.
Able to do that.
Yeah, let's see. So,
Also, that guide me button has a section of CRM too.
Yeah. Yep.
all right, so share screen,
Like I did the brochure ones yesterday.
RealNex, share.
I have not all the way down to the brochure yet. I think I'm still in that first group.
Gotcha. And they're all under
What do you see, Noah?
time and a half. Yeah, we can see your syndication screen right now.
Okay,
I
all right, so I'm gonna go to CRM.
That one was helpful. I watched half of it this morning.
Okay.
You just want me to fly around a little bit?
Yeah, just, yeah, kind of like what Holly was doing. Just click around and show us what you've done so far would be helpful.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the CRM. CRM is a couple things.
This one.
Okay, first of all, can you see my mouse, right?
Yes.
Yep.
First of all, it's contacts, people. Second of all, it's the companies those people work for. Okay. Third of all, it's my projects. Some of these are listings, some of them are buyer requirements, some of them are a year old and they're not really active and I haven't cleaned them up yet. Some of them are respected things I'm working on that I want to make sure I keep track of some activity around. And then properties. These are properties. And I think if you're by the book and you're going to do a listing, I think the first place you go to create a new listing is you actually input the property, I believe. To do it by the book, according to RealNex. You create the property here and then go into listing, create the listing attached to the property, et cetera, et cetera. Then there's some other things that I'll probably never get to, but we'll see. But you can create spaces within properties. You can input lease comps. I will definitely be inputting sale comps so that I can talk to my database about sale comps. And I will, I'll be campaigning, but I haven't touched that. So for now, contacts. This is where the bulk of the activity occurs. I'm not too concerned about companies. I'm very concerned about people and projects. So if you want to add a new contact, you add them here. If I want to look somebody up, I can, I should be careful here. I'll look up Jim and see what happens. So I get a call from Jim. Jim and I are on the phone. Talking about, I've got Jim grouped as he's a real estate guy who's going to get a newsletter B, which is just like a general commercial real estate news. He's a commercial agent. He's likely to refer to me. He's attended a mastermind and book club, and he's in the KWC network. So that's just how I kind of direct people. So Jim and I are talking. So I go to history, add new. Jim wants to tour next week. I'll attach that to a project. 901 Main. I'll create a follow-up set for, let's say, next Thursday. I got to call Jim on Thursday to follow up with him. Now I've created a history. Here I am pointing at my screen. We've created a history that Jim and I talked about 901 Main. He's interested. He's got a client, wants to look. And then if I go to events, I've got an activity to do next week on the 31st, and that is schedule the tour with Jim. That makes sense?
Yep.
If I go to my,
Does that go onto your calendar then?
yeah, I was gonna go look here. So it
Yeah.
goes on this calendar?
Google Calendar.
I don't have this calendar talking to Google or anything.
So you have a calendar right in there.
Separate from our corporate calendars.
Yeah,
Know if you can attach them or not.
they may sync. I'm not sure.
I'll go try and sync mine right now and see if that's even an option while you're looking at.
I'm in my RealNex calendar right now, and on March 31st, there's a task for me to do. Jim wants to tour next week.
So will it pop up on that Thursday morning as a reminder? Did it have something?
I don't have mine set up to do that. I believe you can. Let's see what happens if I go to dashboard. It might show up there. Events, let's say, like, here's a future activity. This is a list of all my, no past due activities, only future activities. Here's my stuff. Or I could just do it this way to answer your question, Jim. One day. So now I've got no activities that are for today. When I get to the 31st, though, it's going to pop up. Do I have the ability to have that show up anywhere else? I don't know. Let's see what the calendar says.
So this is gonna be something that you're gonna be utilizing consistently, like your calendar part of RealNex. This is why you can make that default, what I did earlier, when you log in, your default screen, if you make it your CRM.
Yeah.
That's where you could create this. If this is where you're gonna start putting all your stuff and using this as your calendar where you see everything.
So that would be.
Because I do not see, I don't think you can syndicate it like with your Google Calendar, like attach them.
Yeah.
But you do have the
Be nice if
mobile
you
app,
could.
and I don't know if it's on the mobile app, the calendar on there.
Yeah.
But you can create this as your default login screen, so you see this right away when you log in every time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
It's on the mobile app too, sometime before I leave today, but I got 3 of them there available.
For RealNex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
you
figure
got-
out which one it is. I haven't, I don't have it myself.
CRM,
Do you use the mobile app, Dave?
Yeah, you said he did.
yeah, the mobile app is great.
gotta walk out.
See ya.
See you soon.
Have a good day, sir.
See, I wanted to let you know.
So for me, Jim, basically, I'm keeping track of all the people in my life and their contact information. I'm grouping them into clusters of people that I want to work with as a, as a group.
Yeah.
Might be buyers, might be sellers, might be retail, might be industrial, whatever. However I want, whatever's important to me. That allows me to talk to them as a group, but it also allows me to talk to them individually and tie them to the projects I'm working on. So, and no, I keep track of, I mean, I probably input, 10% of 25% of my activities actually get tied in here. It's just stuff that I need. That's, that's core to me servicing my client or finding that next deal or whatever it is.
I want to use it where if I get a new listing and it's an industrial listing, it goes out to all my industrial people that I've worked with in the past.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I don't have to, go through all my contacts and say, I'll send it to these 25 people. And they're already in a group.
Right. That's exactly right, Jim. That's the way it works.
Thank you.
And as long as, it's only as good as how well you maintain that list, right, Jim?
Yeah.
If you keep a good list, then you're gonna have good results.
Yeah. Agreed.
Very good. The troops are restless.
Okay.
I think we did our deed. Thank you, David, for what you did. Thank you, Holly, if you're still there. Really appreciate it. And we'll chat soon.
How do I end share?
On the bottom of your screen where you actually
Stop
share.
share. Got it.
Hey, Dave, if you have your phone on you, can you tell me which app it is? Because there's a couple and I'm not sure if they do different functionalities or if one covers more than the other.
There are a couple.
So do you have all of them or do you use specifically one of them?
Just one of them, and I initially downloaded the wrong one, and then I contacted them. They told me to download a different one. So I think if I just hit share app, I can send you what I've got, right?
Shoot, just texted me. That'd be great. And then I'll get these guys on it too, because there's 3 of them and 2 of them look identical.
But we're not there yet.
Oops. 715. What's the rest?
531-7399. And then I'll grab it and share it with these guys in the room.
Okay, yeah, different.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first one I downloaded had no contacts. They said I was using the wrong one, told me exactly what to use. It took like 4 minutes. It was easy fix.
Perfect.
KW 22.
I got these 3 pulled up. Cloud, CRM.
Cloud CRM. Yep.
I don't know for sure.
All right, thank you.
If you guys are getting the app, the cloud CRM, not the core CRM, more the cloud
You
one.
want RealNex clouds.
That's
So
the one I'm
they
done.
look identical in the app store, so cloud.
Install.
Did you guys have anything else you wanted to go over with these guys, or else we can
I think
hop off
we're-
the Zoom and
I think we're good to go.
Where are you at again, David? Hey,
What?
Dave, where are you at today?
I'm in Apple Valley, just at home.
Oh, okay.
The background, I just got back from Florida last night, midnight. So,
Okay, cool.
and that's not what it looked like, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah. That's good.
We were on the Gulf Coast, Sarasota
okay.
area. So we did Bradenton, Sarasota, Siesta Key, Anna Maria Island, did all that stuff.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's south of Tampa Bay, right?
Got your vitamin D. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, flew into Tampa, 50-mile drive south.
Okay, yep.
And actually, so 50 miles gets you to the south end of Sarasota.
Okay.
Which is
Yeah.
where we're,
Just close to Treasure Island there and Clearwater Beach and all that kind of stuff, so.
yeah, I think so.
Nice area.
Very,
Welcome back. Cold and wet here.
thanks. All right, thanks, everybody. Holly, awesome job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Holly.
I think she gone.
Yeah, she